sister, come to us.
In fear, I turned to my poor Madamina, and my heart of gladness leapt like flame. For oh, the terror in her sweet eyes, the repulsion, the horror told a story to my heart that was all of hope. God be saint, she was not yet of sin. I seized some of the firewood which was by me, and holding out some of the wafer, advanced on them towards the fire. They drew back before me and laughed a low, horrid laugh. Back away, say I! In the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, remove yourselves from this so hallowed circle. Begone, you evil vampires! Hellcats, I rebuke thee, you hosts of darkness! Remove yourselves! Begone, you vile creatures of hell! I banish thee, hosts of darkness, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Be gone!
I lay quiet, looking out onto my eyelashes in an agony of delightful anticipation.
Listen to them, the children of the night. What music they make.
From the D&E studios, welcome to the sexiest show on the internet, the Dracula podcast. I am your host, Lawrence Burgess, or LB for short. Thank you to Adam Stover, Rob, and Martha of Southgate Media, the Foxborough, and most of all, you for listening. We aim to bring you thoughtful, stimulating media, reviewing the films, books, music, plays, and personalities that make Stoker's creations so beloved, the criticism to inform your purchasing decisions, interesting guests, and the needs of our communities. Drop us a line, folks. We're not hard to get in contact with. audio.dracula@gmail.com is the Dracula inbox, or Dracula Audio No Spaces on Twitter and Facebook. You can also find Dracula the audio drama, which is out for sale right now on drakesnestentertainment.com or via Dracula the audio drama Facebook page. To all of you, welcome. Sincerely appreciate you joining in. We've brought our friend Mr. Titmus back. Lancaster, how you feeling?
Off and on day, Lawrence, but it's not too terrible. Glad to be here once again.
And that's Lancaster of the House Titmus, right on Master Control. Had an interesting week so far. Been in hardcore pre-production for Sherlock Holmes and the Beast of Whitechapel. Yes, that is one of my next projects coming out. But I auditioned for something. I had no expectations for it. I went out to the Alban Arts Center in St. Albans, West Virginia, and I auditioned for It's a Wonderful Life. No expectations. I've never seen the story or anything like that.
Never seen the story.
Why is that funny?
You're an American citizen, are you not?
Yes, I am.
And you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life? Perhaps you should have your citizenship revoked. It's absolutely ridiculous. Haven't seen it. What else haven't you seen?
Thank you, Lancaster. But no, I have not seen It's a Wonderful Life. Haha, very funny. But I had no expectations, and I go in and I do these goofy voices, and somehow I get a few roles. It's interesting. It's set up like an old radio drama, only performed on stage, where people go to microphones and they act out different roles. So I got a few roles, and I'm actually not completely sure what they consist of, but Clarence and the announcer are two of the roles that I got, so I'm very happy and fortunate, and thank you to Norman Clark, the director, and the Alban Arts Center. So, Lancaster, if you got the giggles out, how have you been?
Well, I've had a very interesting time as of late, but I had a problem. I was looking through the archives of your podcast, and I found out that you had a place where you got your fro clipped. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, fro clipped.
Absolutely right. So I remembered you talking about Top's Aunt Barber Shop in downtown Charleston. So I went there and I said, look, I have a problem with my hair. I can't get it to go straight. It's all over the place. It looks like two geese came down, mated, took a dump, and then flew away. So I talked to Mr. Spencer, a friend of yours, Lawrence, I'm sure, and he fixed up my head. I tell you that my fro has never been so lovely than it is now. I can put my finger through it and throat and stroke. I even sound better on the podcast now. So now, with my wonderful new hair, you all can enjoy the fruitiness of my sumptuous tones.
The fruitiness of your sumptuous tones. Where did you hear that from?
There was a Tom Baker impersonator on the internet impersonating himself to Tom Baker. It was very weird, but I took away the fruitiness of my sumptuous tones, and that is going to be my motto for the rest of the podcast. What do you think of it, Lawrence?
All right, folks, we received a lot of communications this... What is it?
I still can't get over you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. How ridiculous is that?
No, I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, I am in the production. What is your... What do you want? What do you want to do? What are you looking at back there?
I found this interesting website where it translates regular words into gangster. Are you ready for a little dramatic reading from Gazoogle.com?
Okay. Not sure where you're going with this. He can't read that. What? You can't read that on the air.
Oh, please let me read it. I swear I will do a wonderful job, please.
Fine. No, he can read it. Just put your finger on that edit button. You got something to cover this up? Because I know it's going to get ridiculous really, really quick. Lancaster, are you ready?
I am ready as I shall ever be. Are you ready to roll up in this show shizzle?
I'm going to regret this. Go right ahead. What are you doing exactly?
Well, this is a line from It's a Wonderful Life. Dedicated to you.
All right. This is Lancaster, the House Titmus, doing a little bit of dramatic reading for It's a Wonderful Life. And this is the Dracula podcast. We've totally gotten off track. I apologize. Lancaster, take it away.
Could you add some dramatic music in the background, please? Oh, lovely. Here we go. You hollered. What'd you say just a minute ago? They had to wait and save, they Skrilla, before they even ought to be thinking of a thugged-out decent home. Wait for what? Until the little pimps grow up and leave them be. Until they so old school and broken down that they, you know how the long takes a hustling player to save $5,000 beyond. Just remember this, Mr. Mother and Potter, that this you rabble you puffin' off about them do hustling and paying and living and dying up in this hood. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live for a thugged-out dirt nap in a cold little decent rooms and a funky bath beyond? Anyway, my daddy didn't be thinking so It was human beings to his ass, yo, but to you, a walked frustrated old-school dude they cattle. Well, up in my book, those roughnecks took a dirt nap for a much richer player than you ever gonna be.
Enough of that. Could you shut him up for a while? What in God? Folks, we're going to take a break right back from the Dracula podcast. No. What in the
The fair girl advanced and bent over me till I could feel the movement of her breath upon me. Sweet it was in one sense, honey sweet, and sent the same tingling through the nerves as her voice, but with a bitter underlying the sweet. Bitter offensiveness, as one smells in blood. I was afraid to raise my eyelids, but I looked out and saw perfectly under the lashes. The girl went on her knees and bent over me, simply gloating. There was a deliberate voluptuousness which was both thrilling and repulsive. And as she arched her neck, she actually licked her lips like an animal, till I could see in the moonlight the moisture shining on the scarlet lips and on the red tongue as it lapped the white, sharp teeth. Lower and lower went her head as the lips went below the range of my mouth and chin, and seemed about to fasten on my throat. She paused, and I I could hear the churning sound of her tongue as it licked her teeth and lips.
All right, folks, we're back at the Dracula podcast. We have things under control, hopefully.
Yes, whatever. You player hater.
Very well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for news from around the globe. Lancaster, what do you have for us? And please tell me it's not about It's a Wonderful Life.
No, actually not. This first article is from EW.com, Entertainment Weekly. The author is Joe McGovern. He's talking to Francis Ford Coppola about Bram Stoker's Dracula, who got a 4K restoration Blu-ray release, asking him a few interesting questions on the record. Mr. Coppola goes into detail about doing the special effects, how he fired the special effects department and hired his own young son, Roman, who is an enthusiast about, quote, magic.
One thing I really enjoyed about Bram Stoker's Dracula was the special effects, the very practical way they went about it. That was a very good decision by Mr. Coppola.
Interestingly enough, do you know that this version of Dracula is the only one to have an Academy Award attached to it?
That is interesting. Although Mr. Coppola's name commands a lot of respect, I do feel they were deserved. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Wonderful film. Have you reviewed it yet on the podcast?
No, that is coming. I want to sit down and rewatch it once again and get the sense of it in 4K. The new Blu-ray release is out today. Anything else he says interestingly enough?
Well, he talked about Keanu Reeves. Interesting.
Keanu was very much reviled for his accent. What does Mr. Coppola have to say?
It says, quote, Keanu Reeves was very criticized for his performance. Do you feel responsible for that? We knew that it was tough for him to affect an English accent. He tried so hard. That was the problem, actually. He wanted to do it perfectly, and in trying to do it perfectly, it came off as stilted. I tried to get him to just relax and not do it so fastidiously. So maybe I wasn't as critical of him, but that's because I like him personally so much. To this day, he's a prince in my eyes. The questionnaire responds with, I think he's spoken about being burnt out from so much work when he arrived on set. Coppola responds in kind, perhaps I know the critics gave him trouble about the accent, but all the young people I've met in the film industry, he's so endearing and sincere and a good person, and a generous person, and I'm glad I came to know that, and he's the nicest person you'll ever want to meet.
That was nice of him to say.
Still doesn't excuse that ridiculous accent. Absolute nonsense.
Question for you. Adam Sandler's Dracula or Keanu Reeves' accent? If you're in a room alone, which one do you choose?
I choose neither. I take the cyanide pill and get my way out of there.
An interesting take. Thank you so much, Lancaster. You got anything else for us?
Well, actually, I do. Wretch.
You doing all right back there?
I'm fine. Give me...
What is going on back there?
Oh, you'll have to forgive me. I had some Taco Bell for lunch.
Oh, sorry, folks.
Oh, please, someone open a window right now. It smells like a cranky old goose just crawled up there and...
Folks, I apologize for this.
Who needs extracts when you got to run for the border, whatever their stupid slogan is these days?
Are you okay?
Yes. Whew. I need to write to the CEO of Taco Bell and ask him what did I do to deserve this terrible torture. Oh, my.
Sure you're feeling better?
I think I can make it through. Just one more.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, we've been talking about television, what people have to watch during Halloween. Well, ABC Family has 13 nights of Halloween starting on Monday, October the 9th. I'm looking at films here like Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows, Part 1 and 2, Hocus Pocus, Tim Burton's Corpse Bride, Stitcher's 2000 Halloween Special, Casper, The Addams Family Values, I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Hunger Games, Sleepy Hollow, Matilda, Paranorman, and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Anything else?
It looks here they also got Dark Shadows and Tim Burton's Frankenweenie and Poltergeist 2 on the other side. And Batman Returns, Tim Burton's are coming on again. That's a lot of Tim Burton. Folks, if you love Tim Burton, ABC Family is the way to go.
Thank you, Lancaster. I appreciate that. Hey, can you guys help Lancaster to the toilet? Thank you. Good luck and Godspeed to you, buddy. Taco Bell's a killer. And after this quick break, we'll be right back with the Dracula podcast. Back at you.
What is it, Captain? What is it?
After a few seconds, he rushed up on deck with his flannels. He looked wild-eyed and haggard. I greatly feared his reasons has given way. He came close to me and whispered hoarsely with his mouth to my ear, as though fearing the very air might hear.
It is here. I know it now. On the watch last night, I saw it. Like a man, tall and thin, and ghastly pale. It was in the bows, and looking out. I crept up behind it, gave it my knife. My knife went through it, empty as the air.
As he spoke, he took his knife and drove it savagely into space. Then he went on.
But it is here, and I'll find it. It is in the hold, perhaps in one of those boxes. I'll unscrew them one by one and see. And see. You work the hell.
All right, folks, we're back at the Dracula podcast. Lancaster is unfortunately out of commission for the moment, but we'll continue on in his stead. In any case, I've got a lot of correspondence asking me about Dracula the audio drama. Once again, it is a fully dramatized version of Dracula. The entire book, 16.8 hours, multiple voice sound effects, musical score. There's trailers on the internet. You've heard previews of it here. It's a truly amazing experience. It's on sale right now, $39.99, drakesnestentertainment.com. You want to talk about value? That production emphasizes value. Nowhere will you get 16.7 plus hours of quality audio. It's cinema for your ears, and the performances really stay for themselves. My talent did such a good job. From Ethan Livers, Josh Drew, Andrea Parkins, John Johnson, you've heard me rave and rave about them. And you can hear it in the clips. They've done things in drama that no one's done before, and I'm truly appreciative of it. So don't forget to pick that up. Dracula, the audio drama, Drake's Nest Entertainment, $39.99 right now. And I think he's back. Lancaster, how you feeling there, bud?
Oh my, I swear to you I'm going to file suit against Taco Bell and those shenanigans they are trying to pull. Goodness gracious. That stuff isn't fit for human consumption.
Has someone ever sued a fast food restaurant chain, specifically Taco Bell, for making someone sick? Could you look that up? Oh, really? Okay, go ahead. You might. We're getting way off track here at the Dracula podcast. Who knew we would have a podcast dedicated to Taco Bell? Lancaster, since you seem to be the victim here, go ahead and take it away.
Well, this one's from February 2012. An Oklahoma woman has sued Taco Bell, alleging that contaminated food it served caused her to become very ill with salmonella infection. The 22-year-old Cleveland County resident said in her complaint that she ate at a Taco Bell restaurant on November 3rd, 2011. Her first mistake. 2 days later, she began suffering from painful abdominal cramps and multiple bouts of diarrhea while she was attending a University of Oklahoma football game. I guess that puts the boomer in Boomer Sooner.
I'm glad you can still laugh about it. What happened in the case?
Well, it doesn't say. But it says, although the CDC has identified the likely source of the widespread outbreak only as Mexican-style fast food restaurant chain A, disclosed that the suspect food was traced to Taco Bell via the Oklahoma State Department of Health and the Michigan State Department of Health as well. Interesting.
So what do you think? You got a case there?
Call F. Lee Bailey. I'm suing Taco Bell for diarrhea duty.
Thank you, Lancaster.
Hope they've got enough to pay for a new set of drawers as well.
All right, that's enough. Don't forget, folks, that we here at the Dracula Podcast are Blu-ray purists. So if you are a Blu-ray collector, and we hope you are, there are a bunch of new releases available right now. On October 6th, a bunch came out. Penny Dreadful, the second season, available on 1080p. The 4K transfer into the Blu-ray for Bram Stoker's Dracula that we've been discussing. And also very positive reviews for Picture on Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, as well as Taste the Blood of Dracula. They are available from Hammer Studios, printed via Warner Brothers MPI facility, newly scanned, and they're also available in a pack with Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed and The Mummy. I have not seen either of these yet, but I have seen samples of the picture and video, and they both look very solid. I must say, I'm quite impressed what Warner Brothers can do. Takes them a while, but it's probably worth the wait. Also, Horror of Dracula and Curse of Frankenstein are also rumored to be in production on getting a new Blu-ray release, so hopefully we'll take a gander at that pretty soon. Blu-ray junkies can also get their hands on Aladdin, Edward Scissorhands, The Phantom of the Opera 1925, 3 different versions from Kino Video, Kiss the Girls, Count Yorga, Return of Count Yorga, and many more. October 2015 is truly a month for collectors. And now it's time to get into the media review portion of our show, or as Professor Van Helsing calls it,
The ghastly paraphernalia of our beneficial trade.
That's right. Drop the boom, Abraham. Today we're covering the 1979 film Nosferatu the Vampyre, directed by Werner Herzog, starring Klaus Kinski, Isabella Gianni, and Bruno Ganz. This is supposedly a remake of Nosferatu in 1922, although there are quite a few differences. One, they're actually using the name Count Dracula, and two, they're amping up the love story quite a bit. Cinematography is dark and moody. Editing at times feels a bit slow, but I really like the score. I like the pace, and I think the script is very solid. Good performances all around, especially by Isabella Gianni, and Klaus Kinski is quite creepy. If you want a little bit of insight on Klaus Kinski, check out the documentary My Best Fiend, also directed by Mr. Werner Herzog. And if you haven't heard of Werner Herzog, shame on you. And you're a bad American. Just kidding. Fans also agree it is a solid film. It stands at a 7.6 on IMDb from 21,673 users. Runtime stands at 107 minutes or 96 for the theatrical, and it's set at a 1.85 to 1 aspect ratio. Interestingly enough, 20th Century Fox, who distributed the piece, Herzog had 2 versions of the film filmed simultaneously, one in English and one in German. Herzog thought that the German was a little bit more authentic, but I also like the English version as well. It's very good, interesting piece, recommended very highly, gets the Dracula Podcast seal of approval. Now, it is available on Blu-ray, but there are problems with it. The quality goes in and out. For example, on the ship going to Wismar, the color is very spectacular. You see the pixels. It has the proper grain, the aspect ratio, and the music is very clean. However, inexplicably, there are a lot of pops and crackles and visual noise you can see, especially in some of the blacks, and it is quite distracting to the performance. I went back and looked at this on DVD and VHS, and they don't have that. So Shout Factory did a good job, but that was something that should not have been overlooked. And yes, sometimes you want to avoid the processed feel, but in this case, it distracts from the overall narrative. There is also another version on Blu-ray, but that is a Region B. With our Region A, Nosferatu the Vampyre, you can grab that today. I would recommend it, however, I would warn you that those crackles and pops, especially in the black, they are very irritating, and it happens multiple times throughout the picture. I really like Werner Herzog. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. He also did Grizzly Man, one of my favorite documentaries. And I love Isabella Gianni, and everyone does. Music composed by Pavlova. It's a really startling piece. And I know this goes against the horror community. And I'm not sure if I'm a part of it or not. I guess I am. But I like this better than the silent version of Nosferatu. I understand that that's blasphemy in many circles, but I do. I prefer this one. I think it has a better director. I think the script is more full. It's not about the words or the dialogue, but what's not said. It's those uncomfortable silences and those long, drawn-out scenes. Really interesting stuff. Nosferatu the Vampyre, made in 1979, is available on Blu-ray to get. Right now at Amazon.com, it stands at $14.99, but beware of the crackles and pops before you pick that up. So, folks, that's all I have for you today. Thank you to Rob and Martha of Southgate Media, Adam Stover, Drake's Nest Entertainment, most of all you for listening. We appreciate the Foxborough, thanks to Tops Off, and shame on Taco Bell for performing what Taco Bell does best, and that is being the kings of diarrhea.
You said it, Lawrence.
But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. And to you and yours, have a most excellent and wonderful day.
And tremble even yet, so till all was over. God be saint, my nerve did stand. Had I not seen the repose in the first place, and the gladness that stole over it just as the final dissolution came, as realization that the soul had been won, could not have gone further with my butchery. Oh, righteous God, release this poor creature's soul to thy care. God in heaven, I could not have endured the horrid screeching as the stake drove home, the plunging of rising foam and lips of bloody foam. I should have fled in terror and left my work undone. Oh, my child, I will release you from this curse.